Let's talk about Hailie Deegan once again. Is it time to hit the panic button, Brandon, if you're Hailie Deegan? She got caught up in another accident with Greg Van Alst. And poor Greg Van Alst, he can't seem to buy a break with his recent endeavors here in this sport. But Landon Lewis getting caught up in that as well. And then Lewis, I think, taking out some payback on Hailie Deegan, ending her night down there in 31st place. What do you make of her season at this point?
I'm kind of sad about having to come back to this topic again because I feel like we just talked about it a couple of weeks ago or so. And honestly, I have no clear answer on what to do with Hailie Deegan's career right now. I'm glad I'm not the one that has to decide. But yeah, the panic button certainly has been a part of the equation this season. It's just, look, isn't she like the only ThorSport truck that's not in the playoffs? She's 19th. It's not a good situation at all. Not ready for the Xfinity Series. Needs another year in trucks, I guess. But again, I'm glad I'm not the one making the decision because it's probably really hard to handle that at ThorSport right now.
Yeah, well, Matthew Owens saying as well, I think it may be beyond time to hit the panic button. That's a 13th straight finish outside the top 10 for her. Again, still only on one top 10 finish the entire season, a 6th place run at Texas earlier this year. And again, I brought this up last week as well. You want to know the last time we saw a stat line like that in that 13 truck at ThorSport Racing, which has been a perennial contender within a perennial championship contending team. That 13 truck alone, obviously what Johnny Sauter was doing in that in particular, but you got to go back to when Shelby Howard was in that truck in 2008. How about Willie Allen in 2007? Kerry Earnhardt before that in 2006. It's been a long time since this team and this truck number for ThorSport that has so much history attached to it has been running this poorly. And again, I think the future of Hailie Deegan is going to be very interesting moving forward here because, I know we don't talk a lot about SRX on this show or on the Grid Network even this year, but a second place run there with who she's competing against, I think was a very solid night for her, and I want to give her credit for that. I think Hailie Deegan has talent that can be harnessed in some series somewhere that could lead to success for her. I don't know if that's in the NASCAR truck series at this point, almost 3 years into her truck career. And to be honest, I'm not sure if it's in NASCAR. I think Hailie Deegan's a talented young driver. I think there's a place for her somewhere. I think we've seen moments like that in SRX. We saw it a little bit as well in ARCA and K&N. But for whatever reason, you can't make the equipment excuse anymore when you're driving for ThorSport Racing and your teammate, Ty Majeski, just won this weekend. You've got championship contenders all throughout that team, all throughout the history of that team. To miss the playoffs by as much as she did and be running outside the top 10 almost every weekend this year, it's simply not good enough. And I think it's unfortunately time to be brutally honest about that. And, the jump to Xfinity doesn't make a lot of sense to me at this point. It would be one thing if Deegan were constantly getting caught up in incidents like this when she was running 5th or when she was running in or around the top 10 and consistently having her days ruined because the truck series is as chaotic as it is, then I think we can have that conversation. But I haven't even seen that consistently enough to make me think, put her in a SHR or a Ford affiliated Xfinity car and it's going to fix everything. And she's as well as she did in her debut at Vegas last year. I don't know how sustainable that would be over the course of the season based on what we've seen in trucks this year with ThorSport.
Man, time flies. I can't believe she's been in the truck series that long. When you said 3 years, it felt like we just started a rookie season yesterday. I think she has potential with the dirt side of things. Okay, like that's where her win came from in ARCA, and that's where she had that success the other night with SRX. I also look at her sports car career with the Michelin Pilot Challenge. I think she had some great flashes in the pan, and the Rolex 24 weekend. I think it was just this year and also the year before she takes part in that with the Ford program.
Done it a couple times, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's also a great avenue for her to start considering as well. But yeah, I guess I hate being brutally honest, so I don't feel like doing it, but that's why we have people like you and others that are willing to lay the hammer down and say enough is enough.
Yeah, and I don't like doing it. I want to be very clear. I'm not, taking delight in Hailie Deegan not running well, because I still remember there was an article by Jeff Gluck in The Athletic, or maybe it was like his top 5 like mailbag questions or something that he was like a weekly feature But I still remember him talking about, this was when Deegan was, I think, at the height of her, success in K&N. Maybe she had just won Colorado, her third and final win there. And he said, I don't think it's an over exaggeration to say this. If Hailie Deegan makes it to the Cup Series and wins races, she could potentially single-handedly turn NASCAR back around in the right direction and be a mainstream sports superstar. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm seeing that in her future, at least anytime in the near future, based on how she's running trucks this year. So we'll see if she can turn it around. She's got a few more opportunities left to do so this year. And then, like I said, the future is going to be very interesting for her in 2024. I know there's the Xfinity rumors are probably going to come back again, but again, when you're running this far off the pace of your ThorSport teammates in the truck series, I just don't know if that's a wise jump to make.
Yeah, if she is destined for that Gluck prediction, it's definitely like a 10 to 15 year long road, and something drastically is going to have to change where she is, and the whole approach is going to have to change.